The reason why I'm having him push in a straight line instead of flaring is because just by looking at his torso, his arm length and everything else, and because of the shoulder problem, I don't want him turning, and actually I'll show you why. I can't really explain why, but I can show you. We're gonna go down to 135. By flaring, what I mean is always keeping the elbow in line with the wrist. So instead of pushing straight, he would push back towards the rack, but bring his elbow with him. Go ahead and get everything set. Do everything the same way, except this time I want you to push back towards the rack and bring your elbow with you. See what happened there is immediately when he came off his chest, the barbell fell behind his elbow, and then he couldn't keep his elbow in place with all that. There's a lot of issues that I knew were going to happen just based upon the way that he's built and from doing this for so long. So I would keep him, because he's going to be a raw bencher, at least for now, benching in that straight line because he's going to be stronger that way. It works for his structure better that way. Now if he got into using jacked up shirts and all that other kind of stuff, well then we need to change his technique to accommodate the shirt. It's not the other way around. You know, a lot of the questions that I'm getting is how do you change the programming or the technique that's being done with gear to accommodate the raw lifter. That's not how it works. It's the technique and the programming needs to change to accommodate the geared lifter. All right, so just because you're seeing a lot of programming out there from guys who use gear, don't assume that that programming is because they use it, because most of the time, if you look at how they're training and go back 8 to 10 years before the gear was super jacked, it's the same type of programming. They haven't changed their training to adjust to the gear. That's why they're not getting the big carryovers like they should. That's a whole different video and it's a whole nother topic. So we're going to go ahead and go 185 again for another single. And I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut. Just kind of let him go on his own. The biggest problem that he's having is the upper back tight and making sure you're in the right starting position. So everything else is pretty much locked in. So if you make sure that's right, and for you it was your eyes in line with the bar, everything else should pretty much follow suit. If that doesn't happen, then your elbows are dropping too low. This time I'm going to help him out just by bracing the bar so it's easier for him to pull out. The setup should actually take longer than the set. Good. The other thing I didn't comment on, because he's been really good about it, is you want to make sure that the barbell stays in line with the wrist and the elbow throughout the whole movement. A lot of times you'll see it fall one way or another. Let's pull it down a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. A lot of times you'll see this from the start, especially with younger lifters, or when they press, you'll see it come back and not stay in line, or in some cases, it will come forward. The key is to keep it into the straightest line that you can. And to set up the bench, when I talk about it being exhausting and knocking you out of breath, I'll take my time and I'll set up a bench using an arch, and I'm sure by the time I'm done I'll be beat red and won't be able to talk. I personally like to bring the bar forward on the hooks here to brace it. That way it's easier to pull it out and I don't have that distance that I have to walk it through. I'll always start with my eyes under the bar and with my grip moderate as far as tightness. And then I'll try to get my feet as far back as I can. Then slide through and start trying to pull up. Then grip, pull out, air, heels, press. And that would be to do 1 rep.